You're listening to the Burnt Offerings podcast, a show about cigars, friends, faith, and general tomfoolery. Do not take these guys too seriously. Now grab a stick, settle in, and let's set fire to foot. This is Burnt Offerings.
All right. Well, welcome back to the Burnt Offerings podcast. We're really excited to be here today. We started off a little bit yesterday, if you're kind of following along in the series. Started out at the farm. Today, we are at the JC Newman factory in Tampa, Florida, or Ybor City, more proper, I would think. And we're here with Drew Newman, the extraordinaire runner of all things we've learned of the JC Newman factory here in the company here in Tampa. So welcome. We're glad that you're here.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks, Drew.
Yeah.
Welcome to Cigar City.
Oh, yeah, we're excited.
Thank you.
I forgot. We also have Ryan and Patrick.
We're here too.
They're fine. And so we're really excited. We're going to do talk a little bit. We do have a stick here. We just learned that, I don't know if you, Patrick, you want to hold it up to the camera?
Sure,
maybe?
we can get a little view there.
So we have your Robusto.
The brick house Robusto.
Brick house, right?
But this doesn't look like the Robusto, the brick house that you're going to buy in your local shop.
Somebody sort of took it apart for us. So we got a little bit of just filler, and then a little bit of filler and binder, and then the rest of the stick as you would smoke it if you bought it in your shop. So we're going to get a little bit of flavor profile changes as we go through. So we're really excited about that. So we're going to be smoking that today and just talking all things JC Newman.
I also appreciate whoever had the skill to take a small round knife and cut it off, because I'm sure that's how it actually got done, right?
We did a little bit of rolling earlier, and we found out that we have no skill.
Correct.
Whatsoever. I think I was the most skilled, not meaning that I am skilled, but of the three of us, I actually had the better of the three looking
Unlike
cigars.
the very skilled rollers that were working in the room here.
As you're maybe looking at the owl here, it's kind of showing you the rolling room. So we're at the top level.
Top level of our 115-year-old El Reloj cigar factory.
El Reloj means the clock.
The clock, yes.
So there's a clock. We'll talk a little bit about what the clock did, the neighborhood behind us. We'll talk a little bit about that today. And so we're at the top. So the rollers, I can see in the hand rolling, actually do smoke cigars as they roll.
Some of them do, right?
What a perk.
Quality control.
Quality control. I asked one of the gentlemen what he was smoking, and I think he just was smoking whatever he rolled. But like he pointed out, like he just made a little bit of whatever he liked.
A little Habano in Nicaraguan, I believe, is a...
Yeah. Well, my rolling skills would never get me to this level of the factory.
That's
I'm basement level.
No, you fat-fingered that whole thing all the way through. A lot of glue.
A lot of glue.
Now, let's understand, there's not real glue in a cigar.
No.
It's some pectin or some potato starch that's the glue that holds it together. But Ryan
Drew,
was
excessive. We should give your staff some props here. They made us feel like we were really good rollers.
Oh, they were very kind.
I felt very appreciated, even though my cigars.
When BB put the labels on, she gave compliments like we were really good. And we were not.
She was lying. She was just being
all of us very sincere.
I'm sure it was sincere.
But hopefully, helped to give appreciation for how hard it is.
Oh my gosh.
To roll a cigar and the skill that's involved to make a beautiful cigar.
Absolutely. I would argue that ours are rustic looking.
Yes.
When we're done, they're rustic. And the ones you obviously smoke from JC Newman are not rustic, and they're beautiful to look at. And we did not do do that.
They are your cigars.
That's right.
That's true. That's true.
That's right.
You rolled.
That's right. And I got to name it. I got to put my own name on the label, and my middle name is Leon, so I called it the El Leon,
Fantastic.
for lion.
It was a fun experience.
It was very cool.
Which is cool if you're down here in Tampa. You too can have that same experience. It's part of the factory tour that you can sign up for and do a rolling class, and it was really cool experience.
Yeah, and honestly, even if you're not like a cigar person, it was a really cool, if you're down here in the city, it was actually just a really cool experience to go and see maybe a product, especially if you're not a cigar person, actually what goes into making this product and why some of us are so kind of passionate about it. And, it's not the deadly vice that it's been made out to be. It can be a really enjoyable experience with a lot of love and care that goes into making them.
Well, we learned Stanford made it to 90.
He did.
So, and he's
the bar.
every day, right?
Every day.
Every day. So
Stanford being your grandfather,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. So, Drew, like you've not always been on staff at the company, but you have more recently in your time, and you've kind of changed a little bit of the flow. Like maybe there's more touring going on and more rolling. Can you talk a little bit about like when you stepped in, why you did what you did, what was the purpose of making that connection again, maybe to the people who like us really like to nerd out about cigars?
Of course. Well, we are a 4-generation family business, as you know. My great-grandfather started in 1895. And when he started, he began our company by doing exactly what we see right in front of us. rolling cigars with his own two hands. And here we are, 4 generations, 130 years later, still doing exactly what he did a century ago. And our only goal as a company is to roll cigars by hand the same way 100 years from now, the same way that we do today, same way we did that 100 years ago. And my great-grandfather passed the business down to my grandfather, Stanford, who passed it down to my father and uncle, who were in the process of passing it down to my cousins and me. And it's a real incredible privilege to be able to keep this going. And in answer to your question, I was born into our family business and have been running around this factory since I was a little kid, and now my little kids do it as well, and it's just a wonderful privilege.
I'm sure playing hide and go seeker at the factory as a kid was a lot of fun.
Oh, it's great.
We told there was a trap door you could show us how to use.
There's a trap door. There's so many just nooks and crannies in this building. It's very easy to get lost in a wonderful way.
So great-grandpa, Julius, was hand-rolling himself.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's how he started our company. He came to America in search of the American dream in 1888, settled in Cleveland, where people from his part of Austria-Hungary landed when they arrived, and he knew he needed a job, and so he decided to become a cigar maker and started at the bottom as an apprentice, getting coffee, getting tobacco, sweeping the floors, and slowly learned the skill himself. And then he became a very skilled hand cigar maker.
Okay.
And then in 1895, he went into business for himself.
Yeah. So he immigrated. Did he? I'm assuming came in through New York.
No, he actually came in through Baltimore because Ellis Island opened a few years after.
Okay, so he comes in through Baltimore and immediately goes to Cleveland because, we're from Northeast Ohio, and I know there's a Cleveland connection. Immediately. He didn't stick around in Maryland for a hot minute.
No, he and his family, he was 13 at the time, and his father and some older brothers were already here, and he came with his mother and a couple of sisters, and they went immediately to Cleveland.
So his father came over first, milled around, however he ended up. He was already in Cleveland.
Established,
and that's why Julius came into Cleveland. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Drew, how has the skill of hand-rolling cigars been passed down through your grandfather, Stanford, your father, Eric, and now yourself?
Are you asking me if he's good at it?
I want to know if Drew can outroll me is what I really want.
I'm going to go with a hard yes with that. But.
Well, what I would say is with cigar making, there's no degree program. There's no online
time
course.
At the table.
There's no textbook for any of this. It's simply a tradition, an art, a craft that's been passed down from generation to generation. And so the only way to learn is simply by listening and observing, doing asking questions. And so from a very, very young age, I just started observing and being present and picking up what I could. And that's the only way to learn, because so much of what we do is done by sight and touch and smell and taste. There's no fancy machine that says this cigar is perfect or not perfect. It's when tobacco is right. When a cigar is right, and it's just a wonderful art. Cigar making is very much an old school, old world craft, and there just aren't that many of things like this left anymore.
Right.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that yesterday. Just is the my children, your children, like there seems to be a little bit of a leaning back into things made by hand.
There's a care of craft
like a care of craft.
Very good word.
A respect for it.
My 22-year-old likes to sew her own clothes. Like,
wow.
Like she, she'll wear. Obviously, she wears clothes from the store, but like she just finds value in that. Yeah. And I was a kid at 22. I'm not making my own anything, right? I'm happy someone else did.
Right.
And so there just seems to be maybe a generational shift back to that. So you come in. How long have you been working?
Oh, yeah, come on in.
Visitors are here.
Yeah, come on in.
I want to tell them, welcome. We're recording a podcast, but please feel free to come and talk to our
Oh,
rollers.
you're fine, guys.
yeah,
you're not
guys,
bugging
please,
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Come on in, talk to the rollers.
We're making this stuff up as we go. So please go. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I saw them
No.
standing
Oh,
there.
no, please,
please,
I
please
wanna
do.
invite them
That's
in
part of the
because
experience up
we
here.
love having visitors here
Yeah.
and showing this tradition of cigar making.
Yeah.
Let me pick at that just a little bit. So how long have you been back in the company? I know you went and worked, and you're an attorney by trade. And
I am. So I joined our family business part-time as a teenager and did a lot of different things, part-time for the company over the years. And then I joined full-time in 2017. So it's been,
Okay.
So in
Then-
2017, as you come in and you're kind of the operations guy, kind of running the place, and are you introducing back into the full experience of tours and rolling and tasting, and is that something you've done?
Yes, and so our company really grew up in the mid 20th century, and at that time, the big companies in all industries were brand forward. And what I mean by that is you think of a big company like Procter & Gamble or General Motors or General Electric, companies that were big entities, but what was out front was their brands.
Yeah, the brand's
and so
carried.
the cigar industry was very much like that too, where in the late 20th century, all the big cigar companies were businesses that promoted brands.
Yeah.
And that's how our company was structured. Every company was structured. Then in the late 90s, with the first modern cigar boom, that switched, and there was a real interest by consumers to be able to connect with cigar makers and hear the stories of the cigar makers and feel that real connection. And so the market shifted. We hadn't. And so when I came back on full time in 2017, one of my goals was to tell the JC Newman story.
And put some story back in
as a
it,
four-generation family business operating what is now the last traditional cigar factory, still rolling cigars in the country, and highlight what makes us unique is that we're an American cigar maker keeping the American cigar tradition alive here in the cigar city of Tampa, Florida. And so that's been a real fundamental shift. And so 5-6 years ago, we had 0 visitors to the factory. Like these gentlemen that came up and are touring the rolling room right now, 5-6 years ago would not have been able to get through the front door.
That's right.
Because it was just a factory. And what I realized was there were so many wineries, distilleries, breweries all around the world that become destinations for tours, events.
When you think of Woodford,
tasting.
right? That's a great example.
Of course. And so I thought, why can't we do that for the cigar industry?
So
but you're
here we are.
you're leading the block now too, right? I look around here and it's clear I've got to figure the city is reasonably pleased that you're making this kind of investment to bring.
They're thrilled.
Yeah.
No, we're so lucky, in most parts of the country, cigars are not viewed particularly warmly by the government. But here in Tampa, because the cigar industry built our city, and it's an important part of the culture and the history and the tradition of our community, it's the government at all levels is extremely supportive and appreciative, and people love cigars here, whether they smoke them or not.
Right.
There's a real respect for the place that cigars are in our city's history, and so we're extremely lucky to get so much support from really everybody.
Yeah.
This is what's great about this building is that we get to welcome like 20,000 visitors every year to come and see this tradition of cigar making. I mean, you can go to Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Honduras, Nicaragua, and see factories down there, but it's a lot harder, more expensive, more difficult to get there. But here we're 15 minutes from the Tampa airport.
Super accessible.
Let's talk about the connection too, because one of the interesting things that we, as you peel back the onion layers a little bit, right? You guys do a decent amount of distribution, and you touch a lot of our favorite brands, just beyond our favorite brands that you guys make and blend.
Okay.
And as we were going through that tour, we're talking about you guys have a really rich connection with Fuente. You obviously have, production cigars, that are getting machine rolled as well. And honestly, after watching that process, I don't know that machine rolled cigars get as much love as they actually probably deserve. That's more quality. I think we really talk down a machine rolled cigar in the,
there's different types. So here in El Reloj, we roll cigars the two traditional ways. One entirely by hand, right in front of us, which is how my great-grandfather started in 1895. And then during the Great Depression, the cigar factories in Tampa and really across the country started adopting what are now antique, but they were state-of-the-art at the time, hand-operated cigar machines simply to reduce the labor costs. They keep cigars affordable when no one had any money during the Depression. And so here on the third floor, we roll cigars by hand. On the second floor below us, we use these 90-year-old antique hand-operated machines.
They were really cool.
To assist in the process. But on the market, most of those machines roll a cigar called factory throwout, a value price of a bundle cigar. But when the factory throwouts are on the same shelves as every other bundle cigar in the country, no one knows the difference.
Right.
Right.
They taste the same, they draw the same, they burn the same as any other bundle cigar, and it's just the traditional way that the factories work here in Tampa after the Great Depression, and
it was really fascinating to see those 90-plus-year-old machines.
Yeah, still beating, man.
Still cranking away.
Antiques.
Yeah, you got to keep a good machinist on staff to make sure those things get fixed.
A whole fleet of them. Well, it used to be when I was a little kid, and a machine broke, or you needed tobacco, or something was happening, you needed help. You would just call another factory, and everyone would help each other out, and you would trade or parts, or they would give you some tobacco, or do you a favor. That's the way the industry was. Yeah. But then, as one by one, every other factory is closed here in Tampa, and we're the last ones left really in the country. We've had to become very self-sufficient, and so now we have to do everything ourselves. And so we've got a full machine shop, a bunch of mechanics, a full-time carpenter, a full-time electrician, just to keep this building going.
Yeah.
And
makes a lot of sense.
It makes total sense.
Great.
Yeah.
So you brought in this. Let's connect our consumers or the people back to the things that we do. So if you're coming.
Hector.
If you're coming into town and you have some time, what can they do? So if you can take a tour, what can they do now if they come in and engage with you guys here?
So walking inside this factory at El Reloj is like stepping back in time, and we have the privilege of sharing this wonderful world of cigars with visitors all around the world. Here at El Reloj, we offer guided factory tours every weekday, and an occasional Saturday this year, and every Saturday starting next year. And in addition, we have cigar rolling classes where we teach cigar enthusiasts like you
We tried
how to roll cigars with your own hands. We have tobacco tasting classes where we guide cigar enthusiasts through a range of different types of tobacco, so you can really taste the flavors in each varietal and understand how they're different and go through the blending process. We have a Cigars 101 class, which is not something that we thought about initially, but people came in here and said, I want to try a cigar. What do I do? And
so 101 is in teaching them how to smoke the cigar.
Teaching them how to cut a cigar.
Cut a cigar. Okay. Yeah.
Teaching
Right
them
from the beginning.
what side of the cigar is up and what side of the cigar is down.
He just went further up the funnel, man. It makes total sense.
It's
Absolutely.
wonderful. It's
well, let's
wonderful.
be honest. I mean, remember your first time? You're like, what do I do?
Of course, right.
How bad did you scalp that thing the first time?
Yeah.
Well, I let the shop do it because I wouldn't have known what I was doing.
Well, and what I would say is there's no wrong way. Literally.
Well, if it unrolls, it's wrong.
You say that, but if you're still if it unrolls and you enjoy it, it's
He's right
just
though. How many
fine.
times do we have that? I mean,
It really doesn't matter.
we've got a
happens.
weekly poker night off show. Those are the nights where it unravels because I'm playing cards or whatever. But I smoke it out to the nub.
Do you know where it unrolls the most? In the wind on a golf course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You play a lot of golf, right?
You catch the wind catches a little bit of thing, and next thing you know, the whole thing's just down to binder.
But if you enjoy it, it's
Yes. Oh, I don't throw it away.
Who cares?
I don't
Who
throw it away.
cares?
That's right.
And that's what matters. And we also have a range of events here too. We had about 95 events last year here,
wow.
from
Okay.
weddings to
Oh.
baby showers to corporate events to political events, all sorts of different stuff. And we love it because the more we can invite people into this factory, bring people in this building, the more we can share the art, the tradition, the culture of cigar making in Tampa and in the United States.
Yeah.
And so it's it's a real privilege, and we love it. And when we're cigar makers, cigar makers first and foremost,
of course,
and we restored this building in El Reloj and began all these programs 6 years ago for our company's 125th anniversary. And when we did it, we really didn't know what to expect. Were people going to come to a cigar factory? We thought so, but we really didn't know.
Yeah.
And we've been blown away by the response, and it's caused us to do more. It's what led us to build the beautiful park across the street. Where on a day like this, when it's 1 degree up in Ohio,
it's 80 degrees here today. Let's just point that out.
The high is 79.
Oh, my bad. Hey, we'll give you our 1 degree, and we'll just call it 80.
Yep, I'm good with that.
It's beautiful here today.
It is beautiful,
and it's a great place to enjoy a cigar. And then now we're restoring the 115-year-old Sanchez y Haya building across the street, bringing it back to life the way it was 115 years ago.
That's
and when
awesome.
It reopens at the end of this year. It'll have a restaurant, a cigar lounge, and a 11-room inn upstairs. And again, all of this is intended just to help share the story and the tradition, the art of cigar making in the United States.
I think that's genius.
It's genius. Oh, what was the building first? What was in it 115 years ago?
So this factory, El Reloj, opened on March 31st, 1910. That building opened a few months later, and the buildings were built independently of each other, but they are built with each other in mind.
Okay.
This is where the cigars were rolled. And across the street is where the workers, the neighbors, the visitors went to eat, to drink, to stay.
Okay.
So 115,
It was where they gathered.
It's where they gathered, exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome to
so-
reuse it for that purpose.
And so 115 years ago, the first floor had a restaurant and a bar, and the second floor was a hotel. And all we're
So you're
doing
just
is
restoring it back to what
bring
it
it back
was.
to the way it was.
And this is my favorite. You're naming it after your grandparents.
I am,
So
yes.
so the two buildings?
So the restaurant is going to be called Elaine's for my grandmother, and the cigar lounge is Stanford Cigar Club for my grandfather, and then upstairs is the inn at El Reloj.
And give us some of the concepts. I love this inn above. I mean, I think you're starting to see that, like you mentioned, in some of the whiskey and beer. Like, I think a Brewdog Brewing has a similar couple of inns, and you can have a shower beer. That's their gimmick, right? When you're staying there.
Wait, are you smoking a beer in the
I'll take a shower cigar. Sure, why not?
That sounds a little damp.
Sure, well, let's get wild.
That sounds damp.
I love
You
the
enjoy it.
That's right. That's right, Drew.
Right, there's no wrong way.
No wrong
Drew's already
way.
told
Drew
us.
told us there's no
As long as
wrong
you
way.
enjoy it.
Boy, am I getting that put on a sign for every show. You guys told me. Drew said it was fine. The downstairs concept, we got talking to, we had a really great guide today. Holden was awesome.
Holden was
and
great.
And we bribed him to show us all the secret crevices that I'm sure he shows.
That's the trap door.
Yeah, that he shows everybody else on the tour as well. No, he was awesome and very knowledgeable, and we were talking with him about that. Share with us the concept specifically about the club, right? It's a bit of a kind of a Carnegie Club and an elevated cigar experience. Like, what's the concept that you're hoping to do in there?
So one thing that shocked us when we opened this building to the public is that we thought the people who would come to a cigar factory to visit would be people like you, like us,
Yeah.
who just enjoy cigars and want to learn more. And we get those visitors. We get cigar enthusiasts, but that's about half of our visitors. The other half of our visitors have never touched a cigar in their life. So I wondered, and it took me a while to understand this. Why would you come to a cigar factory
That was
if you
my
don't
question.
smoke cigars?
Right, that was my question.
But people do, and thousands of people do, and they come here to learn about the history, to see the art, because they like old buildings, old architecture. They're interested in the culture of it, and they're just curious. And so we get to introduce a lot of people to this wonderful world of cigars. And some people come here and might try a cigar. Some people come here for a visit and will never pick up a cigar in their life. But even if they don't, hopefully they will leave here with a respect and understanding and appreciation for the handcrafted nature of this wonderful world. And so as we approach restoring the building across the street and bringing it back to life the same way it was 100 years ago, it was important to me that we did it in a way, in a very similar way that that celebrated the history of cigars in Tampa, that presented the cigars in the best light possible that showed the respect and the love that we have for the culture and the tradition. And so the Cigar Club is going to be a hopefully very elegant experience, not in terms of
you got to wear a coat and tie.
No, and also it's not going to be. We're not selling $100 cigars. I think are crazy. We're going to sell Brick House and Diamond Crown and everything else for the regular price. But the experience is going to be elevated. The idea is that you walk in and that a host greets you and seats you to a table. And if you want to go to the humidor, you can go to the humidor. But what we're going to present you is a menu. So a cigar menu, very much like a spirits menu that describes each brand and varietal and gives you options. And a server will come to where you're seated and we'll walk you through it. And then when you choose a cigar that you want, we can go get it for you. And we can bring it back to you on a tray and present it to you. And if you want the server to cut it and light it for you, they'll do it. If you want to cut it and light it yourself, that's fine too. But the idea is to show a real respect for this wonderful world that we're in. And something that you guys have seen here, we talked a little about this before the show, is how much care goes into a single cigar. The rollers who are here in front of us, BB who bands them, put so much pride into it. The workers at the farm yesterday put so much pride and love and care. And so like we see that and we want to show such a respect to the product that everyone really puts their blood, sweat, and tears in. So we want to present the cigars in an elegant way as well to show our respect to the rollers, to the blenders, to the packers, to the farmers, to everyone in the process. Because as cigar makers, we're all really proud of the end product. And so this is a very long-winded answer to say it's going to be an elegant experience just to show the respect for this product.
Does the industry, this is the stupid question, so wine has a sommelier. They're trained.
Yes.
Does tobacco or the cigar industry have something in that ballpark? Or are you looking, like we always joke around that Ryan's our cigar Sherpa because he knows more than the rest of us. and so, he's willing to carry the water while we're trying to figure it out.
He's also the one that suckered us into this little habit of ours.
We appreciate it. So as they're walking in and they're going to be introduced to a person who can ask them the right questions and help them understand what it is that they're trying to find, or if they've never even smoked a cigar before, you should stay off page 7 because maybe that'll hurt you. But come over here on page 3 because that's the right spot for you.
Yeah, it's exactly the type of experience we want to provide. We want to make sure people feel welcome and accessible, whether they've smoked 1,000 cigars or it's the very first one. We want to make sure they have a good experience. Yeah. There are a couple of certification programs in the cigar industry that different groups offer, but it's not like the wine industry where there's a very clear path with sommelier and the different levels. It's much less formal than that with cigars, but I think there's a lot we can learn from that type of experience to make sure that the consumers are treated well. Because whether you pick up one of our cigars or someone else's cigars, all of us really want to make sure that you really enjoy the cigar. The worst thing that could happen is for someone to pick up a cigar that it doesn't matter who makes it, it's just any cigar, light it up and hate it.
Right.
That's we've all failed if that happens.
Yeah. Right.
And so with Stanford Cigar Club across the street, we want to make sure it's a welcoming environment that people enjoy and that presents Tampa, the cigar industry here, our family, in the best light possible. Yeah.
I hope this isn't meant to be a loaded question, but what you have done, kind of re-engaging and reintroducing what I would say is a more fuller cultural experience around cigars here in Tampa. Are you, because of your guys' work in that, are you seeing other cigar manufacturers and companies starting to do the same thing? Or, cause I feel like, really what I'm getting is I feel like you guys are front edge leading this kind of cigar renaissance in a sense.
Yeah. So that's a great question. And there are great ways to experience cigar making all around the world. my dad is down at our factory in Nicaragua this week because it's the Nicaraguan Cigar Festival.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. Yeah,
It's a beautiful week of cigars. It's called Puro Sabor. Next month is a Pro Cigar, which is the same thing. The beautiful, elegant festival, but it's in the Dominican Republic.
Oh.
And
Which is where
Habanos,
Toro Fuente is.
and
You
it's our
guys
Toro
have-
Fuente
yeah.
there, and my dad will be there for that as well. And there's the Habanos Festival that comes a few weeks later. And those are great ways to experience cigars and go to the factories and the farms. And we love it. And the more the merrier. In different groups, Drew Estates has a cigar safari program. I don't know if it's back after the pandemic. Perdomo brings a lot of people down to Nicaragua as well, and others do too. And if you're in the Dominican Republic, you can visit. People usually go to the La Aurora factory down there. All is very doable, but I think there's like 300 visitors at the Pro Sabor Festival this week. I mean, we get 300 visitors here every couple of days. And so I think what we're able to do, which I think benefits the entire industry, is that we're able to welcome many times more people than factories overseas can because we're here.
You're here.
In the States.
Yeah.
And you don't need a passport or a foreign language or
a whole week off.
A whole week off. We're 15 minutes from the Tampa airport. You can hop on Southwest and come down and
well,
visit
listen.
us.
I mean, we'll plug it. And lots of Midwest has this scenario. There's discount airlines that fly down to Florida for all the snowbirds, dirt cheap.
Yeah.
If you're sitting up in the Midwest, I mean, there was a guy that joined us for our factory tour this morning from Cleveland.
Cleveland guy.
Imagine, right?
It's like,
Amazing.
we keep hitting Cleveland.
He
everywhere
was
we
flying
go.
in to see a client that was retiring. He gets off the plane. He's like, I got a couple hours to kill. Hops and like came over. Didn't even finish the tour, but like he was like, I got time to kill. So he knew nothing. Yeah, he never smoked the American. Like didn't even know it existed, and like he just stumbled in with us schmucks. So he got a real nerdy experience this morning as we drilled Holden with 80,000 questions about all things JC Newman.
He loves it.
I really do hope that more companies do, because there are so many great cigar stories out there.
Yeah.
Just like the JC Newman story. And again, we have just nerded out. We have jumped both feet first into the entire culture of it all and really have appreciated those stories. So I hope that more people kind of take your guys' lead and start to find their unique little corner of the cigar world and flesh their unique stories out. Because we all win when that happens.
Absolutely. We would love that. I think just given where we are, this being the last large cigar factory to operate in the country, we are able to do it here in the States more than anybody else can.
Yeah,
and so
that's right.
I guess what we're trying to say is we're very happy to kind of carry the water the rest of the industry here. And for those who want to go overseas to visit factories there, the festivals are a great way to go see it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And there are other factories, that have tours as well, just on a much smaller scale than what we do here every day.
Can you talk a little bit about before we came on air here? We talked about the clock tower, how significant that is here, and we had a little bit of a chance to explore some of the neighborhood around us. I mean, it's working class neighborhood as you would expect, right around a factory. But there's some story with the clock tower. I mean, you told us like they're waking up employees back in the day. Like, tell us about that.
That would be where your employees would have lived, right? Like
Exactly.
back and they would have been just walked up the street to
A couple
work.
blocks away, right.
141 years ago, there was nothing here. The area that we now know as Tampa was just a small army fort at the mouth of the river. There are a few ranchers, a few fishermen. That was it. About 700 people total in the whole region.
There's more than 700 now.
And more than 700 now. And it was 140 years ago that Mr. Ybor decided to move to Tampa, build the first cigar factory here, and the rest of the industry quickly followed. And so the cigar industry built Tampa and caused its population to go from 700 people in the 1880 census to 15,000 people by 1900 to more than 100,000 people by 1930, all because of the cigar industry, which is why our community is so supportive of cigars, because it's such an important part of the history of our community. But what that also means is that there were a lot of cigar factories. At its peak, there were about 200 cigar factories here in
this
Tampa,
city alone?
Just in this city. And they rolled more than 500 million cigars a year by hand. which is more than the number of cigars that were enjoyed in the entire United States last year. It's very staggering sum. But what it also meant is that the cigar industry built the physical buildings of Tampa too. And so this factory was built with all the housing for those cigar workers around them, and places for them to gather and eat, to drink, to dine, like the Sanchez Hyatt building that we're restoring across the street. And so when you think of factories, in most parts of the country, factories were isolated in industrial areas, industrial parks kind of grouped together. Here, Tampa was different in the sense that the factories were part of the neighborhood, the community, and the residences, the retail, the commercial was all intermixed in with the factories. And so this building, El Reloj, was nicknamed El Reloj, the clock or watch in Spanish, because of the 5-story clock tower. And in the era before smartphones and Apple Watches and all those devices, there's a 1,500-pound bell that rings.
It's hefty. It went off just a little while ago.
Yeah, about 20 minutes ago.
Exactly. That's what tells everyone when to wake up and when to go to school, when to go to work, when to have lunch, when to come home, when to go to bed. It really shaped the arc of life in our community. And
clock's still ticking up there, right?
It's still ticking. It's the original clock from 1910, and
that's awesome.
But it really just speaks to the history of our community and how important cigars are to Tampa as well.
That's great. And hey, let's give a shout out to Tampa. You can be a pirate starting this weekend.
That's right.
I don't know what it's called.
It's Gasparilla. So Tampa has 200-year-old traditions, cigars in Gasparilla. The cigar industry came here in 1885, 1886. Gasparilla was founded in 1905 as just really a knockoff of Mardi Gras. But now it's become its own thing. Where it's a whole season, but it culminates a week from Saturday when pirates invade the city of Tampa on a pirate ship.
Do boats come into the bay?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. They're coming.
They act it out, remember? Don't they kidnap a mayor?
The flotilla, the mayor plays her part and surrenders the key to the city.
Oh, my gosh.
And then the
awesome.
pirates celebrate by throwing a giant parade and festival, and there's hundreds of thousands of people that participate. And you see how nice the weather is. So it'll be a beautiful day like this.
Yeah, great time to do it.
And also, people smoke cigars all day long. These are
wonderful.
When in Cigar City,
200-year-old traditions that kind of come together this time of year.
That's great.
Well, Drew, I know you have a business to keep running, and we certainly appreciate your time. And appreciate your hospitality, allowing us to come in.
Well, thank you for visiting. It's an honor to have you guys here, and I'm so glad we could share this wonderful tradition of cigars with you, because just being able to see it, to roll cigars in their own hands, to visit the farms and seeing tobacco in the barns being cured, and it just highlights how special
it really
this
is.
industry
To be completely self-deprecating, because it's appropriate. You are honestly and truly hospitable to 3 schmucks that have no business doing this with you, and you have given us not one but 2 different times. You've stopped your business, and it's been fantastic, and so we really do appreciate it.
We really have.
Your willingness. If you want to be a schmuck from the Midwest, come down.
Get down here.
There'll be a tour for you. And
apparently, there's a direct tunnel from Cleveland to JC Newman.
Because we've talked to multiple people from Cleveland already. So we really do appreciate your time. Is it okay if we finish our stick?
Please stay here as long as you like.
Okay. Well, I mean, we don't want to close the place down.
No, we'll finish these up. And
we have security here 24/7.
Okay, good.
Matter.
We'll know
can
who's
see
kicking
us
us out. That's right.
Drew, I do have one more quick question before we let you go. As we start this new year of 2026, what are you most excited for JC Newman in 2026?
Oh, good question.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm most excited for is that this is our we're in the middle of our 130th anniversary year, and we are rolling cigars the same way we did 100 years ago, but the cigars we're making are better than they ever have been.
Mm-hmm.
And so from a technical perspective, I'm very excited that we're rolling really the best cigars we ever have, which is not really about today. It's really about the future, because it means we're on track to continue doing that for a long time to come. And so our cigars are better than ever. Our organization is stronger than ever. We're growing. We're welcoming people like you, here.
Yeah, I mean, it
we
seems like
share
the
it.
culture with the
It's
employees is
everything.
fantastic.
Everything's great.
Every single employee in this factory, and let me tell you, we were peeking over every shoulder because
We were.
it was awesome. And every one of them was smiling, happy to interact with us. I mean, you've built
We're a family business.
Yeah, it's an incredible culture in here.
Thank you.
And it makes sense then when you see it expanding out to be kind of a centerpiece in the neighborhood. That makes total sense. It's very hospitable.
Yeah. And fun fact, we found out that the 250th anniversary of the university
Of America.
Of America.
and you guys, your American is kind of like being stamped as the American cigar for
Right.
250
we're
years.
very proud to be a partner of the America 250 program. A decade ago, Congress saw the anniversary coming up.
Yeah.
And Congress formed the United States Semi-Quincentennial Commission.
That's a mouthful.
Well
It
done.
is. I
Well
can't
done.
spell it.
Right,
I just really struggle to spell it. But it's 250th anniversary commission, and that they have authorized us to roll official licensed cigars of the 250th anniversary of the United States. And so we saw BB really packing
right.
over there.
Yeah.
They're putting the America 250 logo, the official U.S. government logo, on all the cigars we're rolling here by hand in Tampa this year. So it's
Well done.
It's pretty remarkable to think that the U.S. government
Yeah.
is letting us
It's great.
put their logo
Right.
on cigars of
On
all things.
such a
And
controlled product, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And-
That's
but
awesome.
it also speaks to the history of our country, because it was
Yeah.
tobacco that made the American colonies
Yeah.
successful,
Viable, yeah.
300 years ago. And at the time of the American Revolution, tobacco was the cash crop of the Americas and was grown in all 13 colonies. Cigars were rolled in all 13 colonies in 1776. And founders like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson had farms that grew tobacco. And so it seems only fitting that we celebrate this major milestone for our country
Absolutely.
with a fine
Yes.
American-made cigar.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like what I'm hearing is if you love America, you need to buy a JC
better be
Newman
smoking
American.
the American.
That's right.
There's no other answer, folks.
Even if you don't smoke.
That's right.
Smoke in America.
Well, if you're,
It's your patriotic
It's your patriotic duty. That's right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, we really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
And
visiting.
thanks.
Enjoy
You're
the
very
cigars.
welcome. Thank you very much.
And,
Thanks,
and
Drew.
Hope you'll come back and visit with us.
Oh, yeah.
Again, especially when we open next door.
We appreciate
Yeah,
you.
it's
So
awesome.
God
Thank you
bless
so
you
much.
and your family.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
What a great host.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Yeah, that really is the word, right? They've been just so hospitable, and man, I just think about like that kind of forethought and leadership. I mean, you can see it's transforming the
Yes.
community here.
Yes.
It is transforming the business,
Yes.
and just like you said, allowing people to get access to what you had to pay a passport, a flight ticket,
Right.
$2,500 to go to something like that. Now, they've really brought it here, and it's been eye opening for us. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been so dang cool.
yeah.
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 Like, it's
and,
just
and listen, that hospitality isn't fake.
no.
That is genuine. So don't. I mean, if you think he's running a shtick just to get
Well,
you
listen,
to
if
come
you
buy
think it's
stuff,
fake, straight up, guys, I'm in a room right now. The employees left. The owner left us in his
Right.
rolling room.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are cigars bundles of them that I would love to come home.
Yeah, a lot of half whales just
Right.
sitting around there.
That
That's
kind of
right.
trust and that kind of
Yeah.
hospitality
It's-
is incredible.
It's genuine, and we can't highly recommend it any higher than we can here. And so we're really excited that we got to do this again. So
Yeah.
we really appreciate you listening. Maybe we picked up a couple of listeners as we were here today.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
It was fantastic.
We do
and-
need to go grab the laundry sacks and get some of these half wheels stuffed into the bottom.
Yeah, like we said yesterday, we are not stealing anything.
As we
Drew.
will not.
We will not steal anything. Oh.
Oh, wait, I meant this one. No, I meant
that's it.
this one. Nope, I
Nope.
meant this one.
There
it is.
it is.
We're not stealing anything.
No, there it is.
And we're back. Okay.
So, thanks again for joining us
Yeah.
for this episode of Burnt Offerings Podcast. We
Live on location.
Live on location, even though you'll probably not watch it live because,
And guys, tell us where you want us to go, right? If you've enjoyed this content, if you've got questions that came out of this, we'd love to try and find those answers with you. We're just as curious. I think
Yeah.
you guys have experienced. We don't know what we're doing, but we're learning right alongside, and it's been awesome.
Having fun doing it. So, yeah, thanks for joining us, following along, listening. Again, we're on your favorite podcasting platform. You can watch our videos on YouTube of the podcast, TikTok, Reddit. We're out there, and we're glad that you're hanging out with us. So until next time, smoke them if you got them.
That's right.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Burnt Offerings. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform and let us know what you thought of the show.